to Crafty Little Things. Right, so today we're being a bit extravagant and we're doing this twisty foldy pop-up card. I've never made it before, so this is my first try. I've seen it all over the place, but the one tutorial that I found made the most sense to me was by a lady called Kathy Williams. So I'm kind of following her directions. Although it's a different design, obviously, so you might see this sort of card done differently. I'm going to be using all the pinks today. I'm going to be using powder pink, fresh fig, berry burst and sweet sugar plum, inks and papers, and I'm going to be using the party pandas. This was going to be flowers, but I've decided, because it's almost spring in the UK, I'm going to do a floral themed week. So I thought this week I'll leave the flowers alone and I'll go with the pandas. So we start off with some powder pink cardstock, which measures 11 by 4 1/4, and then we've got 2 strips. One measures 11 by 2 3/4, and the other measures 2 1/2 by 8 1/2. And then I've got, I'll do the cardstock bits first, and then I've got 4 squares of fresh fig, which are 2 1/2 square, and then I've got 4 squares of very vanilla, which are 2 1/4 square. And onto these I've already stamped the pandas in sweet sugar plum, berry burst and fresh fig, and around those I've stamped using this little confetti stamp. I've stamped in powder pink, and then onto them I've dabbed, I'll just put in a little video now so you can see how I did that. If you don't want to see that, then just forward through it. So I've got my 4 pieces of very vanilla, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the party pandas. I wasn't going to, but I've decided that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to take this little confetti kind of stamp, and I'm just going, first of all I'm going to stamp the party pandas. So I'm going to get a bigger block. Blocks are all tinged pink because they just are, and I'm going to put my party pandas onto each of those, and they just fit. So I'm going to put them on 3, and I'm going to put them in 3 colours. I'm going to put fresh fig, try and get in the middle. I'm going to clean that up. And then I'm going to use berry burst. Just trying to, I was reading the French and I thought, what's that mean? So I'm going to just use berry burst and put one in the same place. If I was using a stamping platform, I'd be able to replace them, and if you are worried about little bits where it's not coloured in, you can always colour it in with a marker or with a bit of ink. And then I'm going to use sweet sugar plum. Sweet sugar plum is one of my favourite colours, and I don't use it anywhere near enough. I think, you know, I like to do these themed sort of little series of tutorials. I think I might do a colour one at some point. I might celebrate the outgoing 2015-17 colours before they go out in June, because they'll be retiring then. Like I said, if you do find a piece is missing and you don't want to go back in with a stamp or risk or do another one or whatever, then you can take a dry brush. that one's fine. I'm happy with that. That's the sweet sugar plum one. This is the berry burst one. Just go in and get a little bit of ink on your brush. And then what I'm going to do is for this one, I'm just going to get the happy birthday out. Pop that on a block. And decide which of the pinks I want to use. In fact, what I'm going to do is use all of them. I might just do that again. I'm slightly on an angle. That's a bit better. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, I don't know. Well, anyway, then what I'm going to just do is I'm just going to get the little star. I'm going to close these and I'm going to get powder pink out. Because that's what the base is. I'm just going to use that just to dot that confetti shape around everywhere. And then just on the odd, not on every single one. Oh, why not? Right, so that's my little pandas done. And then your final two pieces of paper are DSP, and they measure 4 by 5 1/4 each. They're going to be used that way, so if you've got a directional pattern, make sure you're going the right way. So that I want to use mine vertically like that, so I've got my long side going down. And this is quite cute. It has like powder pink, berry burst, fresh fig, gold foiling, and then calypso coral in it, so it can be used with lots of different coloured papers and inks. And as I said, I think I said it's from the Painted with Love Speciality Designer Series pack, which is beautiful. I think I need to get myself that. I've got these trims. Oh, anyway, I'm going to get carried away and start talking about things that are irrelevant. Right, so that's what you need for this. So let me put these all aside and do some scoring, if I can remember how to do the scoring. I don't need to do any scoring on these little bits, so I'll pop those there. This one just needs folding in half. I will score. I had a lady leave a message on one of my videos yesterday, or the other day, saying that when I fast forward, I used to put music in my fast forwarded bits, but then I got fed up. I just thought, oh, I got fed up with it. So I thought, I'm just going to fast forward and let my voice squeak. And I noticed that my dog really loves it. By the way, we're scoring this at 5.5, which is halfway. My dog really loves it. And he always, because it's sort of high pitched, and he always comes and he has a listen when I'm editing. But this lady said that her cats do the same. And the cats really like, well, not that they like it, but that they spot it when it happens. So I'm just scoring that at 5.5, and then I'll burnish it later. I'm not going to attempt to burnish it on here again, because obviously all that does is it leaves you with a nice little ruched effect, which is something I don't want. So that's going to mark this at 1 1/4, which is the middle, and we're going to score down that midpoint. And then on the sides, I'm going to score it at 3. I'm just going to mark it at 3, not score it. And at 3. And then at 5.5. And 5.5. Okay. I'm just going to mark that, not score it. And then this piece, which is the 11-inch piece, I'm going to score at 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. Okay, this last piece that we folded is easy. Just fold it in half along the centre score line, burnish that, and then just fold the 2 outside ones back. So fold those back. Okay, so you've got like a W. This bigger piece, which is the base of your card, just burnish it along that centre fold. And that's easy for that one. And now this one, I'm going to put it in my, I'm going to put it in my scoreboard, in my trimmer, put my cutting blade out of the way, and I'm going to score from that point there at the 3 inches down to, on the diagonal, to that point I made at 5.5, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side, so I get a cross. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that, I'm going to fold that over on the diagonal, and I'm going to burnish it. And then I'm going to fold the other one over on the diagonal, and I'm going to burnish that. And then for the middle, I'm going to fold it the opposite way, so it's going back on itself. And then when you so then when you push it down like that, you end up with this sort of shape. Sorry, like I said, it's the first time I'm doing this, so yeah, I was trying to push it the wrong way. I don't know if it works the other way, but anyway. So you end up with it like this. And then what you want to do is that's exactly what you want. So you want to give it a nice good more burnish, further burnishing, because that's the shape you want it to be in and that's the shape you want to keep. So everything needs a good old burnishing. So keep that like that, okay? Then for these two pieces, what you need to do is mark at 2 inches and 2 inches and 2 inches, because you're going to cut those off. So it's up to you how you mark those. I'm going to go with using my little mat and a pencil. So at 2 inches then, there, at 2 inches, and that will be 3 1/4 to get the 2 inches. And then I'm just going to put those together. I'm only going to mark one of them. This was another little cafe tip for getting them perfect and for saving time. Pop it into my trimmer with those points in my blade guide, and then just cut through those two together. And then do the same on the other side. Get that point and that mark into my blade guide and cut through those two together. Okay. And then I've got these little scraps which I don't need. So now I've got these panels, okay, which go onto the inside of my card. So now we've got all our bits and we're ready to start assembling, which is exciting because I've never done this before and I just want it to work. So now before I do anything else, you can leave these plain if you want, because you've got lots of decoration there, or you can do some kind of decoration on here. And I'm not going to do decoration, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some ribbon. We're all about the pink. Oops, sorry. Because we're all about the pink, I'm just going to put some pink ribbon across at about 1 inch from the base. Yeah? So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces the same size. So I want to put them at either side, because these are going to be stuck onto these cards eventually. So I'm just going to have my ribbon about there on each side, and I'm going to stick that under when I put them on my cards. Okay, but it's up to you. I mean, you can have all sorts going on if you want. You can have you know, you can put another sentiment or whatever you want to put on it, but I'm just going to have those pieces of ribbon. It might look nice with something, you know, cut out of gold or something like that, or you could even get your very vanilla and print out this guy here, or one of your other little pandas, whatever you want to do, but I'm just leaving it at that. So then we're going to assemble this card now. Obviously on the front of the card you can do something if you want. What I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to put maybe a couple of bits and bobs. I think I'll probably have a very vanilla top maybe, and some more ribbon, and then some of this on the outside. But the actual, I mean, the card is basically what's inside the card really, not what's on the outside. So that again is entirely up to you. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is open the card, and we're going to take our piece here and we're going to put it in the centre of the card. Now if you need to mark that centre, which is 2 inches, 2 1/8, just put a little mark in there if you want to, and you're going to pop that in there and leave enough for it to fold over, and then you're just going to take your glue. You can use tape if you want, or you can use a liquid glue. I'm going to use a liquid glue because I just think you just get a longer lasting hold. It might be a bit more messy and it might take longer to get it to stick, but at the end of the day it lasts longer. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and then I'm just going to turn it around and do the same on the other side. Pop plenty of this on. And I've got it on both sides. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry for a second before I start pulling it around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach these on. So I'm just going to Tombow away with these panels, and remember you want to have it like a book fold at the end, so you want your mountain in the middle and your valleys at either side. Right, so that's your little setup there. So that needs to fold like that. Before I do any of that, I'm going to put on my panel here. And like I said, I'm putting this ribbon around. This is such right then. Now for the pop-up card, what I'm going to do is this card needs to be fixed like so. At the top it needs to be fastened here, and at the bottom it needs to be fastened here. So I need to put some adhesive on this top edge and on this bottom edge. But what I'm going to do to get it in the right place is I'm going to put some adhesive here. And then what you're going to do, once you've got that adhesive on there, you're going to have your card like this, close it up, and then this top part, you're going to turn it around. This is your last piece, and you're going to line it up in the middle of the top of your card. I just need to pick that up so I can see I've got it in the middle. and then you're going to close your card up. Let me just, it's a little bit of a weird angle for me to be working on. I'm going to close your card up and squish it down. So that it attaches to that piece. And now we're going to do the same in the bottom corner here. We're going to put adhesive in this bottom inch. And then we're going to put this together. We're going to close our card and stick it down again. Give it a good press. And there we have it. An amazing pop-up card. I've done it. I'm so excited. Oh, it doesn't take a lot to excite me. So there we have it. How cute. Oh, I love it. And then what we can do is we can decorate the front if you want to, or the front can be like your envelope or whatever, but I'm going to decorate the front because I'm on a roll now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of this DSP to carry the theme through. Just so happens that the piece you'll cut off will fit. So I'm going to stick that on. Might have been better to do this first really. But I'm going to stick that on. And then I'm going to get a piece of fresh fig. Just going to cut that down. That's, at the minute it's 3 1/4 by 5. So I'm going to cut that down to 3 1/4 by 5. So 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 should do it. Yeah, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then I'm going to get a piece of very vanilla. So for the front of your card you're going to need a few more bits. So you're going to need a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4, and I've got a piece of fresh fig here which is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, and then a piece of very vanilla which is 3 3/4 by 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print another one of the pandas. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an aqua painter that's actually got water in it. I'm going to get my sweet sugar plum. Squirt a bit down. It's already there. I'm just going to colour my balloon a little bit. You could use watercolour paint for this if you wanted to. I mean watercolour paper. But I'm just going to colour it in a little bit. just give that balloon a little bit of texture, a little bit of dimension. And when it's dry, I can always whack on a little bit of wing Costella like we did before with what's inside. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to stick this down. I've really enjoyed making this card, and I think that's what's supposed to happen with crafting. You're supposed to enjoy making it, and that's why I advocate crafting as therapy. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab the little high stamp, pop it on a titchy block. I'm going to put it in the fresh fig, which is really dark. I'm just going to stamp it into the balloon the right way round. There we go. You might think that's lacking something, but I think it's looking great. On there. And there we have it, and there's the card, and then when you open it up you get this gorgeous explosion. I just think that is lovely. I think it's a gorgeous card, and you might want to just use some ribbon. This ribbon is absolutely beautiful. Joining me, and tomorrow we're back with another unusual fold card. I'm gonna this series was supposed to be 5, but I think it might extend beyond 5 because this is number 4 and I've still got a couple of ideas left. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Okay, thanks for joining. See you.